See, it says recording in progress, which is important. Dave is on the air. How we doing, Dave?
Jersey Coast Dave, what do you say? What do you know?
You know, I put you down as Gulf Coast, Dave. I just have myself down as just plain old Jersey because right now I'm nowhere near the
Jersey Dave.
coast.
Yeah, you're not near the
I'm
coast.
in the
All right, all right.
woods. I'm in the woods.
JD was another guy on my. All
I'm,
right, Jersey Dave, you got it. I am near the coast. I'm spitting distance, but yeah, you're a little ways there. You got to hitchhike
what do you
down
think?
80 a little bit,
Yeah, a little bit, just a little bit. I'm resting.
just a little bit,
All right.
a
I'm
little
not
bit.
resting
Rest.
anymore. Are we going to recap a little? I don't want to recap college football, but I will for your sake because you did great. Um, you had a great 4-1 on college football last weekend, I believe, right? 4-1.
Yes, sir. Yes,
That
sir.
was Temple, and I was watching a little bit of that. I saw the scores on that game. They were covering, and then what happened?
They ruined my sweep.
the game.
Yeah,
Who cares about the one loser? You had four good winners, including taking advantage of that South Florida and UAB with the incident. Let's just call it the incident. Anyway, took advantage of that. Very nice, very nice. You got some
in the
inside
last
information
minute.
that I don't have. My college was awful, and I'm not going to talk about it. I was not going to. It was. We've been doing really well on college. We were like consistently been, 3-2 at the word, a couple of
No,
four.
we still are.
We were
You
really
know,
doing well. You are, but I took a step back on college last week. The pros, I got myself down for 3-2 last week, and
yes, you
you
do.
also you were 3-2.
I was 3-2 as
Coming off,
well.
coming off winning that big grand prize in the pool that we were bragging about last week. That was pretty good. Well, you followed it up with.
Well, I didn't do so good in the
Hey, you followed
pool,
it. Solid
Linneman.
week. Solid week. You're there.
Well,
Hopefully, you can get up there into the payoff at the end of the year standings. So anyway, my 1-4 canceling out your 4-1 in college and 3-2 on both sides. Still, overall on football, 11-9,
solid.
which is a profit, not a big profit. It's
Yes,
a profit. So that's what we're into. We're into grinding it out because let's be honest about this, guys and gals. That's what this is. This is a grind. When you get all bent out of
it's
shape
okay.
about trying to get back bet and everything, what are you nuts? Like you're not going to be playing again next week? Come on. So be realistic about it. Look at it as
Yes,
the long haul, and what you want to do is just try to bang out a little bit of profit and hopefully have fun with this. You know, I'm not advocating anybody trying to make a living doing this, but certainly to have fun. It's much more fun to win than it is to lose. So we're trying to give you winners,
definitely.
and I mean Gulf Coast Days have been giving you winners like crazy lately. Let's keep it up this week, shall we?
Yes,
I'm also not
and
going to talk
yourself
about
as well. Don't sell yourself short. Last week was a little bump in the road, but
yeah,
you had a
my pros were
kickball.
okay. My pros could have been even better.
Yes,
Like
your
and
pros
yours
are good.
too. If Arizona had done what they should have done, fuck bums. But anyway,
Right.
and Kansas City lost by a hook. So those were my
Yes.
those were my two losses. Arizona easily could have won. Kansas City easily could have won. But
Yeah, and to be honest, Arizona, that was a 3 point line for the longest time. I know we had the 2.5, but if you
yeah,
took them late, you got the push anyway.
yeah,
Uh, but what an ugly game that was.
yeah.
And
Cities, two shitty teams, but you get that a
yeah,
lot in the NFL.
yes,
A lot,
yes,
a lot. I mean, or two. Let's just say maybe mediocre teams. Whereas sometimes you get two really crummy teams. So
well, a lot of
a little
mediocrity. I
kickball.
agree with you
We have a
there.
little kickball for the weekend. Over
Yeah, give us something,
right
bro.
now, we have some fantastic games going on today in the Champions League.
Lay it on me.
Not really looking at that having any impact on any teams in the upcoming weekend. Just there's a great game today. It's Arsenal against Bayern Munich. Anybody who's into soccer,
Yeah.
check that out. Coming up a little bit later on today. Just that ought to be great. That ought to really be a great game.
Where are they playing? In
The
Germany?
Champions League is all about. No, Arsenal's at home.
Oh, they're playing in Jolly Old England there.
Arsenal's home, and
Goodbye.
they're a solid favorite, and I do think they will.
And rightfully so.
not sticking any of those. Too close to post time for that. But I am looking at my favorite, the Premier League, again this weekend. I'm just kind of
Sunderland.
I got an interesting matchup. I mean, Man U. Wow, I'm surprised they're not a bigger underdog in the game against Crystal Palace, who right now are sitting in fifth place in the league. Crystal Palace having a great year, kind of steady, not too spectacular, not making too much noise, but they catch a Man U team that just did something that they hadn't done in like forever, which was lose at home to Everton. It just happened.
We watched that game.
Other
Yes,
than
we
that,
did.
they're coming back out, and they're practically even money with Crystal Palace in this game. Palace at home. I don't get it personally, so I'm going with Crystal Palace to win the game outright, plus 140 over Man U, who are only plus 180 themselves to win this game. The draw might be the play, plus 250. It's attractive. I think it's almost a little too attractive. I'm going with Crystal Palace plus 140 to beat Man U. They don't slaughter people. They don't score a ton of goals. They're a little boring, but they've been winning more often than not. They are at home and they're playing a Man U team that, although they're better this year, they're still not. They're still not bad. They're not Man U anymore. Okay, then I'm moving down to a game. I think this is another Saturday game later on. Hey, I went against Aston Villa the other day, and I paid for
Yeah.
it. They're red hot. They're red hot. I'm looking at they're playing the worst team in the league, and Wolverhampton is having like a historically bad season. They are so far in last place. They have no chance of not being relegated, and it's not even Christmas yet. And there's still a ton of months left in the season. They are gone.
Really?
They're going down.
They're definitely out.
Oh, it's crazy. They are way bottom, and they're awful. And they've been just as bad recently as they've been all year. I mean, they have done nothing all year, but they've done even less recently. I think they lost the last 5 games in a row. They're playing an Aston Villa team that is red hot, that is up at the top of the standings in the Premier League after a terrible start to the season. Aston Villa's start was awful. Now, only thing that worries me about taking them and laying a goal and a half is Aston Villa hasn't been scored whole. They weren't scoring at all at the beginning of the season. They were getting shut out every game, and they lost a few to start the season. Now, lately, they've been doing enough to beat people, but Wolves have, if not the worst defense in the league, it's right there with the worst, probably the worst defense in the league. I think this is a chance for an Aston Villa team that is playing so well to be a little more entertaining to the home folks, score a couple goals, win this game. I don't think Wolves score at all. Aston Villa's defense has been, goals against, they're second best in the league. They might be the most solid defense in the league, and I'm taking Aston Villa minus 1.5, plus 140 if they can win the game by 2 against Wolves, and that's it for
Wow.
Premier League for this week.
What's their line just to win?
They're minus 210, I think. Minus 210.
Wow.
Yeah.
So minus 1.5 is pretty solid, especially when you're expecting a
Yeah, but
shutout.
they don't score. They don't score. There's a reason why
Right.
they're a nice.
That's what I mean.
Because they don't score.
Yeah.
If they give
Yeah,
up a goal, you'll be lucky to get out of this 2-1 if they give up a goal. I don't think they're going to give up a goal. I really don't think they're going to. I actually was kind of looking at the one both teams score line, which in this case, unfortunately, is a minus because really the Wolverhampton probably won't score. I don't think they're going to. I'm hoping that Aston Villa can get at least 2, maybe 3. Make it a little easy on it. Don't
Yeah,
let it out.
sure.
Stretch. Get like 3 or 4. Although that has not been their habit. Let's put it that way this season. Offensively, they have not been that dynamic, but defensively, they've been amazing lately. I mean, they really have been. They gave up that early goal to Leeds. That was kind of unusual. And then after that, they just shut them down. All right. Across the pond, this way, college football in the US of A, and you should go first.
Well,
You got anybody for
you
tomorrow?
got something going tonight? You got something going? Oh no,
There's no game
nothing
tonight.
tonight. I mean, tomorrow night.
Tomorrow? I do have a game tomorrow.
Let her rip because I know where
You
you're
don't?
going.
You don't? There's only one. There's only one game tomorrow. I have tomorrow too. Going with the Naval Academy. I'm going with Roger Staubach, and there was a oh no, he played for Army, I think. Yeah, it was a United States Senator from New Jersey who played for Army. It was a Heisman Trophy winner. I can't remember his name. Anyway, yeah, I'm looking at Navy +4. Now they're on the road. They're playing a pretty
Wow, is it down to 4?
down. I thought that was up. I had 3.5 written down, and then I looked at
No,
that.
bro. You
4.
check it again. I think it's up now.
No, it's
You
4.
can get 5.5. I think.
No, I
Wow, it's
just
down
looked
to
at it.
4.5.
I just looked at
Yeah.
it 4 on DraftKings. I'll look at it again.
Yeah. Okay. You're right.
Well, you're
Go ahead, buddy.
4.5.
Sorry to
I'll
interrupt.
take 4.5 if I can get it.
No, check it out. I was looking this morning, seeing which
Oh,
way.
you got the halves on your
Right.
on your Florida line.
Exactly.
Start calling it the Florida line. Call it the Asian line in soccer when you have the minus the goals. Yeah, it's
Right.
Asian line. But hang on, college football.
No, sorry to
4.
interrupt. Sorry to
Yeah,
interrupt.
4. No, and Memphis is -112, -4. But not
Okay.
I got Navy -108, +4.
All
So
right.
I'm with Navy, and here's the reason why. If you watch Memphis, which we've watched them a lot this year, we've been on them, we've been against them, we've been pretty much in sync with them too, which is one reason why I like this game. They play crazy games. They could be
Yeah.
up by a bunch and come back. They could be up by a bunch and let the other team come back.
Very undisciplined.
They need to be a slightly undisciplined team. Okay.
Yes.
They
Yes.
got talent. They got talent, but they seem to be slightly undisciplined. That is not the kind of team you want to have playing against a good service academy team. And this year's Navy team is really good. I mean, they might put a hurting on Army when they play them this year, or the Army might step up and play them tough, as the underdog in that game often does. But Navy is good, and I'm taking Navy +4, even though they're on the road against Memphis. Obviously, I think they can win the game straight up. I think they're going to run all over. I hope that they can contain Memphis. Memphis has pretty good balanced offense. They run
Yeah.
the ball,
No, there's
throw the ball
really
well.
good.
You got a quarterback who's pretty talented. Kind of hoping they just kind of keep things in front of them, wait for them to screw up, get a punt or two, and just when they have the ball, just grind the ball down the field and score lots of touchdowns on the ground. Control the clock, keep that Memphis team off the field, and obviously win the game straight up, but take a Navy +4 against Memphis.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. It's not one of my picks, but I knew we both talked about it earlier, and for all the for everything that you said, spot on. Beat those Tigers. All right. My first pick, I'm jumping to Friday, and I don't normally take these rivalry games. They're so tough. Yeah. And
Admit
there's
it.
some huge lines here.
You always say they might be hard to make a call on, but you always take.
Oh, yes, yes. I mean, I'm having a hard pulling the trigger, but I did write down a couple, and here's my first. I'm going with the favorite. I know, A&M. I'm looking them to bury Texas in this rivalry game. Big rivalry for a spot in Atlanta. Matchup of two good, hot QBs. I can now say that Arch Manning is hot, but this guy Reed for A&M is really tough. They got the number 9 offense against a tough Texas D, but I think the A&M D is going to be the difference. 26th in the league in rankings, but I think it's going to come down to the special teams. Whoever controls the opposition's kick returner, punt returner will win this game. I mean, Texas is won at least two, I think three, with late game heroics from this guy Niblet from Texas. But A&M has got this guy Casey Concepcion, equally as
Yeah,
dangerous.
he's good. I have
Uh,
him on my fantasy team.
yeah,
I get a bunch
I
of
know.
points.
I knew that name was going to trigger something for some. Yeah, I'm sure he was a
David
flame
Concepcion.
in a couple of your games. But take A&M. I think on D and special teams are going to, make the difference. -2.5. Yeah, I think they're a touchdown, maybe 10 points better than Texas.
All right, I think you got me for a couple slices last week.
Oh, no, another slice?
A couple slices. Yeah, not a pie. Not a pie. I don't have Texas.
No pies.
Here's my thinking on this game. Like those Dave. This is Texas's season. This is their chance to fuck up Texas A&M. Well, Texas A&M is having the best season that they've had probably ever. Probably ever. They have a chance to win the national championship. I don't think Texas A&M has really ever been this close. They are really close right now. And I just think that this is Texas. Texas is shit. I've been against Texas all year.
Yes. It surprises me
Texas
that you're.
A&M beats the crap out of these guys as long as I don't have too many shekels on Texas. I'd be fine with that. I really would be fine with that. But this game scares me a little bit in that A&M has a lot of work to do beyond this game. They're thinking about winning the whole thing, whereas Texas,
Yeah.
I don't even think they're not going to get in the playoff. I don't think they should. They're not a top 10 team. And to be an at large, I believe you have to be in the top 10. I don't think they're going to get there. It wouldn't hurt if they won this game. So that's another incentive for them to play well in this game.
Sure.
And I think this is their whole season. And that just scares me a little bit. I'm not contradicting you in any way. I actually think that A&M is the better team. I really do. I just think that the psychology and the emotion of the game, to me, favors Texas a little bit. But I wish you luck, especially since I know you probably already took them. So go A&M, and I can't stand
Yes.
Texas, so I would not have a problem with A&M. I looked at this game forever, and that was all I could come up with. I was just like, I'm a little bit too afraid of the fact that this is Texas's holy grail. This is their be all and end all for the season because they fucked up their season so badly. And A&M has a lot of work to do, including beating a very good Texas team and a very good defense.
This is number one on their plate.
Yeah,
and you're right. In these rivalry games, it's so scary because a lot of it comes down to weaker teams where this is it. This is their, their bowl game. The rivalry game is.
Yeah, and who would have thought that we'd be talking about this game and saying the weaker team, and we're talking about Texas. The beginning of the season, they were number one in the country.
That's right.
E&M was maybe a top 20 team, and maybe not. Anyway, but that's
all righty.
How football goes, which is why I like it so much. All right, my next game, I'm going to Friday. I'm looking at a rivalry game, the Egg Bowl.
The Egg Bowl.
The road at Mississippi State. Lane Kiffin, kiss my balls. I'm going Mississippi State +7. They burned me a couple times recently. But this is a different animal. This game, to me, my memory of this game over, 40 years.
And a minor vibe.
This with college football is it's always the dog. It's always the dog. There were a lot of years where the dog was Mississippi and big time the dog. That Mississippi State was the big, much more powerful team. This year, I think they're telling you something with that 7-point spread. This is going to be a tight game. I like Mississippi State +7 against Ole Miss.
They can score points. You know that. They failed me a couple of times, but we've played them a couple of times this year where they've been the difference. Their offense has been the difference. All right, I'm jumping right away to my third pick. Correct? No, second pick.
Second.
Yeah, I'm going with let's pull a Vandy, shall we? Vandy just keeps on trucking, and they're 2-2 on the road. They have had tough losses on the road to the aforementioned Texas. should have won that game. Bama should have beat Bama. This QB, as Diego goes, the Commodores go. But they sport a good defense as well. They're going to need it. Tennessee's got an explosive offense, especially at home. I know they're in the top 5.
I want to
But they've
interrupt
had
you real quick because I'm writing down whole numbers for you, and I know that you deal with half numbers with the Hard Rock. So, what number are you using for the Texas A&M Texas game? What number are you using?
2.5. Sorry, two and a
Yeah,
half.
that's a good number because
Uh,
I'm showing 3. Okay, so but it's I unbelievable. It has to
yeah,
be.
Hard Rock is such
I
a
can't
pain in
see
the
three
ass,
and a
but
half. I
they
can't
only
see
do
Texas 3.5.
halves
Yeah, that's
in
fine.
college
I wanted to
football.
ask you because I always I want us to be accurate. I don't want us to
All
be
right,
coming back a week later saying, oh,
two and a.
we
Yeah,
won
right.
that one when everybody else, people who took our advice ended up losing. Vanderbilt, what are you using on that game? What are you using?
It's 3.5. What do you got?
How much? What are they getting?
3.3 and a half.
That's another good line because I got 3 on that one also. So you're laying the lower number and
Okay.
you're getting the lower number. So in your case, this half-point shit with Hard Rock is golden. I mean, you had a winner
It's
last
been.
night. You had a winner last night in that game.
Yes, I did.
Michigan,
I had 10.5. Yeah,
the whole world bet 10.
I don't know
Hey,
why
don't
Hard
get me
Rock
wrong.
does
We were
that.
grateful to get a push if you had Eastern
Yes.
Michigan, but you won with that half a point, and so use that half a point to your advantage. I know it's probably going to burn you now and again too, but anyway. So you keep going with Vandy though. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to get
No worries. No worries.
writing down
No,
whole numbers for you.
basically, I think the defense. Vandy's hungry, and they got to win. They got to win to stay in the in the contention for the. They have 2 losses, so they can't drop to 3. Tennessee is going to be a hard place to play. It's a really hard place to play, but they're a
But
little
this is
vulnerable
their
on D. What's that?
this is their chance. I'm kind of giving myself away that you're going to have to pick again.
Another.
This
You're
is
with.
Vanderbilt's chance to beat. They're the better team.
Yes.
So what
Yes.
they're playing in the. I think they might like playing in the big house there
Yes.
at the Falls with all the fucking
They
art,
don't
all the
shy
bullshit.
down. They
Go
don't.
in
They
there.
step up.
You're
This.
smarter. It's
Yeah.
a better school. Go in there.
They're better
you're the better
coached.
team. Go in there and kick their ass.
Yeah.
Do it and then erase all all the 50-0 games that they had to suffer to Tennessee over the years. Fuck them. Vanderbilt, go in there and kick their ass.
Well,
you know where I stand on this game? Maybe you don't. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure we're on board together. So yeah, I'm with Vanderbilt as they travel to Tennessee. Take the points. You'll laugh all the way
All
to
right,
the.
go again. Go again.
All right, so you're with me on that. I'm
Yep.
going to go with a team that kind of broke your heart last week, but they're a little over their head, but not this week. Missouri laying 2.5 at Arkansas. Everybody keeps saying, well, this is the game that Arkansas is going to stand up and
Keep losing.
blah, 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 blah. The fucking team, they play great for 3 quarters. They're like the New York Giants, They play great for 3 quarters,
The college
and then
version.
Arkansas, this should be their all or nothing game. This should be. But Missouri's good enough, bro. They're the best 7-4 team in college football. Losses to Bama, Vandy, A&M, and Oklahoma. And that Oklahoma one was a
Got their
tough one. No.
quarterback back. He looked a little shaky last week, but that was a tough
Yes.
he was going against. So maybe a little better this week against a terrible defense. So he should be okay.
Yeah, Arkansas has given up, 42,
Kinda like
48, and 52 last week.
I like that.
They're 0-7 in conference. They're going to be 0-8. Take Missouri, lay the 2.5 I have there, 2.5.
Okay.
And going into Little Rock, I think they're located. But take the Missouri Tigers.
My next game, I'm actually looking at a game, and I'm sort of going with the feeling that I had when these two teams played last year. And I know that can be dangerous, especially these days where these teams change so
Yeah,
much.
with the nil. What the hell do you know?
But if anything, wouldn't you say that Georgia Tech is a better team this season than they were last year when they played Georgia and Georgia had Beck as their quarterback? I know the new guy's okay, but they did have Beck as their quarterback last year. They're one of the top teams in the country. Georgia Tech was fringe top 20. Well, maybe they're top fringe top 25 team now
Excuse
also.
me.
But anyway, we loved them last year. They deserved to win that game last year. It was crazy how many permutations that game had to go through in order for them to lose a 9 million 2 point attempt.
I know, and we had them.
Hey, they're getting 14 points. I think
Yeah.
they're better than they were last year. I think Georgia's a little off from where they were last year. I got Georgia Tech plus 14 against Georgia all day at home. Come on.
Come on, will you?
All day.
Stretch it out, Dave. All right, fourth pick. I'm taking a team that broke your heart last week, but I love them. I'm taking the Wildcats. A lot of Wildcats out there, but the Kentucky Wildcats lost a tough one to our Vandy. Vandy's just too much.
Okay.
But this is Louisville. I won a slice of pizza last week on Louisville, and Louisville got smashed last week by SMU. 3-game losing streak. You think, all right, they're going to bounce back. They're at home. Last game. Kentucky's tough, bro. Kentucky is tough. This is the SEC versus the ACC. Kentucky beat up on Florida, beat Auburn, and Louisville's not better than those two teams. They're really not.
No.
Take the 3.5. I got 3.5. Might be 2.5 in
plus
your
3.5 in that game.
Yeah.
So
what do you got?
Louisville's at home. I don't know. I looked at it briefly and I was like, oh my God, these two teams. And plus, I just got my friends who live in Kentucky to check out Dave and Dave. And I was afraid to make a call on this game, so I'm glad you did. And you went with the boys.
What's your friend's name?
I got Benjamin in Kentucky and I got Todd in Kentucky. Todd's the Kentucky. Well,
all right, Benjamin and Todd. If you're Louisville
Todd
fans,
serious Kentucky connection. Serious.
Well, we'll meet him at the Derby. Tell him.
Kentucky Law School. Kentucky
okay.
Law.
I might need him in about a week or two.
He was
a little real estate
Louisville guy, but he was always a big Kentucky guy too. His father went to Kentucky and he graduated from Kentucky Law. We all went to the University of Colorado. God bless those Buffaloes. We're a huge underdog. You see, they're 17.5-point underdogs to Kansas State this week. But that's because, K-State has started to show some signs of life, and we have not. We've looked fucking horrible. I'm telling you, Deion Sanders, that's a complete travesty. It's a joke. Forget it. All right.
That experiment is
last pick, because you got to pick this game because that's the way it goes in this world of college sports. Got to go in the big game, and I got to take the home team, getting the points. I think they've been playing a lot better lately. I think they're a team that's developing, and Ohio State. What is it about Ohio State that doesn't impress me that much this year? I mean, everybody else would kind of be like, they're fucking awesome. To me,
are you going with the Michigan? Whoa, you're going with the Wolverines.
I got Michigan. Plus 10 at home. Again, same situation, the same sort of thing I'm talking about with the Texas A&M game, only here, maybe more so. This is their season. This is it. Yes, Michigan's going to a bowl game. They'll probably go to a decent bowl game because they're Michigan. But this is it for them. Whereas Ohio State still has a lot of work to do. And this coach and this team has had a little bit of trouble with Michigan over the last few years. So I think even an inferior Michigan team at home getting 10 points, I'll take them. That's my last pick.
Well, you and I have both noted that Ohio State has been vulnerable, especially early. They seem to pound their teams late. A little bit nervous about a rookie quarterback, freshman quarterback, but he's had all year, and they've won some good games. A little scary the way they didn't show up against USC. Both of you and I had USC, but yeah, okay, I can understand that pick. But no pizzas or anything. All right. Okay, I'm good for a big one, and here it is, South Florida. I'm sticking with them. I've won with them at least 4 times this year. 27.5. Holy Jesus. We're laying almost 4 touchdowns to the Rice Owls. South Florida, number 1 offense in college football. A lot of, that spells misery for the Owls, who not too much D on their side. So South Florida Bulls.
Minute Rice, the game's going to be over after 1 minute, or it'll be 14-0. All right.
I'm hoping last week, I had a fingernail biter, but yeah, South Florida Bulls over Rice Owls.
All right. We got less than 10. We got like 8.5 minutes to do the pros.
We will fly. We will
Really,
fly
it
through
is
the
a
pros.
huge
Sorry,
weekend in
everybody.
college football. That's okay. It's a huge weekend in college football. We probably should have devoted more time to college football than we are. The pros is so goofy. Anyway, why don't you go first in the pros? Go.
All right. Starting out,
30
gobble,
second.
gobble.
Boom.
30-second games. Packers, the Packer back. Detroit is not what they used to be at home. I'm a little bit nervous of, winning twice, so I'll take the 3 points. And it might be 2.5 where you're at, but if you can, bump it up to 3. If not, take the 2.5. Packers, happy Thanksgiving, underdog.
Nice. That's a tough. Yeah, it is 2.5 here. It is 2.5.
I'll go 2.5. 2.5.
Come on, take the 3. Come on. If you got 3 at the Hard Rock, you got 3. I'm showing 2.5. One of the reasons why I didn't take the game because I like the Packers also. Okay, my
Okay.
first game also on Thanksgiving, also tomorrow. Gobble gobble. I know they slipped a little, but Kansas City, and I honestly think that the first half of the Philly Dallas game was more illustrating more what those teams are about than the second half. I think the second half was more of a mirage. And I think it might be contributing to the fact that Kansas City's only 3.5 point favorite in this game, and that people are even considering putting any money on Dallas. I'm taking the better team. No, they're on the road. I know Dallas at home on Thanksgiving. So what? -3.5. Kansas City Chiefs. I think they score at will. I know their offense hasn't been playing that well this year, but against these guys, come on. 40 points to the Giants and all the points that they've given up against all sorts of shitty teams. 21 points in the first half against the Eagles. But I don't know what happened in the second half of that game. I think it was a big setup to get a little more interest in this game on Thanksgiving, and I'm going Kansas City -3.5 over Dallas. Just kick their ass.
Yeah, I'm with you. Go red. Go big red. It's my second pick as well.
Okay.
So I got the Packers and the Chiefs.
Right.
Go ahead with your third
you have
pick.
to pick 3.5 on that. Oh no, you
Yes.
don't have to because you don't have the half points on the pros, right? Just
Correct.
Okay. My second pick, I'm going back to a team that came through for me last week. Surprisingly came through. They were getting crushed, but they kept battling. And I think that's going to be important in this game because the Tennessee Titans are playing at home to the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are like talk about a Jekyll and Hyde team. They're Jekyll and Hyde between quarters. They're Jekyll and Hyde maybe between series of plays where they look really good and then they look really awful. Hang in there, Tennessee at home +6.5 against Jacksonville. Boom. Going back to
All right.
the Titans.
I'm going to ride the big brown wave. Browns +4.5. Niners did not impress me, on Monday night. Now they're going to a short week. They're heading to Cleveland. Their defense is playing better than ever. Shador's got a little thing going. If they could get the run game going,
the Raiders because they suck.
and I don't think the Niners, although I had them, covering at 20-9, they certainly shouldn't have. I like the Browns defense beating up on Brock Purdy or whoever's behind the center. Bring on Mac Jones as well. Take the 4.5 Browns.
I wish I was going to say pick again because I definitely like Cleveland and I was looking at them long and hard. And then the more I thought about this game, was looking at it, I was like, you know what? This is a dead under. Dead under. And you might even get some bad weather. You might get some bad weather in Cleveland this weekend.
And that's a low number. Holy shit.
It's real low. It's real low.
Yeah.
I'll tell you about a theory that a guy I knew out in Vegas years ago, who was a good handicapper, used to just do this blind. He had 2 bets going into every weekend of pro football. And one was take the lowest total and go under and take the highest total and go over. And I'm not saying you're going to, be able to retire on the money, but there's a reason why it's the highest total on the board. It's going to be a high scoring game. There's a reason why it's the lowest total on the board. It's going to be a low scoring game in general. So I'm going under 36.5 San Francisco, Cleveland. I could see 10-6 on this game. Okay, you go.
Uh, I'm laying a big number with San Diego slash LA Chargers. Coming off a little rest. The Raiders are a complete mess. -9. Take that a mighty 690. San Diego Superchargers. They're not a Jack Murphy,
Yeah, the
but
Los Angeles Chargers.
yeah, but we were talking about taking them for our survival. I still think they can win by 10 points. So lay the 9, beat up on the Raiders. Raiders are going for the first pick anyway.
I'm
Pete
showing
Carroll is wondering what he got into this year.
for
He should have
accuracy,
stayed at
and
home,
I'm not trying to
relaxed.
be a pain in the ass here. I'm showing 10 on DraftKings on that game. So
Okay,
10.
I'm looking at -9 at Hard
Good.
Rock, -10 at DraftKings.
Okay.
We'll go ahead and lay the 10
Take the
as
9.
well.
No, you got to
Yeah.
go with your local bookie and take your local
Well,
bookie -9.
I'm
All
going
right.
with the 9, but I'm telling our fans out there,
Yeah,
I like them.
I just don't want to always be giving us ourselves the nice number. My next pick is kind of crazy. I'm looking at the New York Football Jets +2.5 at home against Atlanta. I watched a bit of the game last week against Baltimore, and the Jets, they don't look like they've quit. They really don't. They were in that game. The defense was playing pretty well. Um, they've got Brees Hall looks to be healthy, and I think they can do some things against Atlanta, right? Running the ball with him, and I guess going with Tyrod Taylor again. Maybe they go back to Fields. I guess it doesn't fucking matter, but anyway, I'm looking at the defense keeping them in the game, maybe even scoring outright on defense. Jets +2.5 over Atlanta, who suck, by the way.
Yes, they certainly do. I'll be rooting for the mean green in that one. My last
Minute
game,
and a half.
I'm taking another team. All these teams are so up and down. You wouldn't think the Bills would be worthy of a bet after that poor showing, against the Texans, but they've had some time to rest. I'm going to lay the 3.5 going into Pittsburgh. Take Buffalo. They're going to make their playoff run now. Now they're dangerous. Last 6-7 games of the year, this is where they get dangerous. I like them to go in and beat up on the Steelers. Touchdown 10 points in Pittsburgh. So lay the 3.5 Buffalo Bills over Pittsburgh.
I like Buffalo too. Last but not least, less than 30 seconds. I'm sticking in the Meadowlands, East Rutherford, New Jersey.
G-Men!
Although they're on the road, I'm going with the Giants. And one of the reasons I'm going with them is because they are on the road. New York Giants +7.5 against New England. You cannot fault the Giants for their covering the spread on the road. We got 10 seconds left. You're going to say, thank you very much for watching.
Get some winners. Happy Thanksgiving.
Giants +7.5 against New England. Last bet. And the clock is still ticking, and I don't know.